One of the most daring explorers of the New World was the Englishman Henry Hudson. In 1609, he set out with his son John and a crew of 20 men to search for the Northwest Passage, a water route across North America. From England, Hudson sailed so far north that icebergs threatened the ship. Soon the men began to grumble.
We can't go on like this. We'll get caught in the ice and starve, or an iceberg will sink us, and that's just the good news.
It's freezing. We're running out of food. What are we supposed to eat? Icicles? We must turn back.
Hudson's son John was worried.
Father, the men are close to mutiny.
But Hudson wouldn't listen.
Oh, shut up, you lily-livered sea dogs. Get below and get on with your work.
Legend has it that the quick-witted John took his father's compass and spun the face around, so when the needle seemed to point north, it was actually pointed south. Unsuspecting, Henry headed south and everybody was happy. They explored the Chesapeake Bay, the Delaware Bay, and went halfway up the Hudson River, which was named for Henry. The upside-down compass of Henry Hudson disappeared and resurfaced in the temple. You must seek out the upside-down compass of Henry Hudson and bring it back here.
Olmec, tell us, where's this upside-down compass?
The upside-down compass of Henry Hudson can be found in the dark forest.
Oh, the dark forest. All right, teams, you're now standing on the steps of knowledge.
So all the countries in which there are predominantly white people are larger than those in the southern part of the world. If you have children going to school and they're seeing this map,
right,
they're seeing a distortion
yeah,
of size, of shape, of location, of importance. In order to use this map at all, you have to take this piece off here, and put it over here. And now you see, the United States is no longer in the middle of the map.
right.
Now I did this with a major record company in New York City, I think in 1970. And an older man stood up in the back of the room and said, "Now Elliot, you've gone too far." I said, "What's your problem?" You can't do that with the map." I said, "Well, actually you can." He said, "No, the United States isn't in the middle of the map anymore." I said, "The United States never was in the middle of the map. You need to realize this depends on how you draw your map." And then I pointed this little fact out. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
Even though it doesn't really look like it.
No, it is! South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
It's crazy.
Now, according to your social studies teachers, what is the equator? Halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on this map would be right about here.
Right.
And that means that Iowa has a semi-tropical climate. Well, you've been in Minnesota in the
I've
wintertime.
been in Iowa too. It's definitely
You know that it doesn't have a tropical climate. So
According to your social studies teacher, what is the equator? An imaginary line where?
Yeah.
Around the center of the earth. Then if this map is correct, then the equator must be here, and Chicago has a tropical climate. Now folks, this is the map that we use in the schools.
So you have to then introduce a real version of the map of the world. I hope this is the one.
That's very good.
The Peters projection map. The sizes on this map are right. The shapes are distorted.
Wow.
Look at Greenland on this map. Right there. See it?
Yeah, it's really tiny.
See how small that is?
Right.
Look at it on the Mercator projection.
So why do they do that? I don't understand.
Why? Because the Pope commissioned Mercator to make a map that shows the spread of Christianity. So all the countries in which there are predominantly white people are larger than those in the southern part of the world, halfway between the North Pole and South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have children going to school and they're seeing this map,
Right.
they're seeing a distortion
Yeah.
of size, of shape, of location, of importance. If they're looking at this map, they're seeing a distorted, shape distorted, but size and location and importance makes sense. This makes no sense.
Right.
On that map, Alaska is bigger than Mexico. On this map, Mexico is bigger than Alaska. And look at Canada on this map. Look at that thing. That much is map. Look at Canada on a properly constructed map.
Yeah.
Do you think that's important?
It's a world of difference, actually.
A world of difference. That's a good thought. Look at there. Look at South America and compare it to Greenland on this map.
Right. It's almost like we're teaching kids that we're bigger, we're better.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. That's exactly what this map is. That's exactly what this map is supposed to do.
Right.
What we have in this country and call education is indoctrination. We start at 3. We used to start at 5. From the northernmost point of Canada to the southernmost point of South America, all the people in here are Americans. North Americans, Central Americans, South Americans. These are all Americans. You can't put up a wall to keep Americans out because we're all Americans.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Hello.
Sorry to be late.
Not a problem.
I'm C.J. Craig.
Of course you are. I'm Dr. John Fallow. This is Dr. Cynthia Sales and Professor Donald Huke.
Huke?
Huke.
Okay, and you are the Organization of Cartographers for Social Equality.
Well, we're from the OCSE. We have many members.
How many?
4,300 dues-paying members.
What are the dues?
$20 a year for the newsletter.
Let's start.
Wait, I want to see this.
This is Josh Lyman.
Indeed you are.
Josh, this is Dr. Fallow, and
Hi.
Who's Mary Men.
Yes.
Should we begin?
Yes. Plain and simple, we'd like President Bartlett to aggressively support legislation that would make it mandatory for every public school in America to teach geography using the Peters projection map instead of the traditional Mercator.
Give me $200 and it's done.
Really?
No. Why are we changing maps?
Because, CJ, the Mercator projection has fostered European imperialist attitudes for centuries and created an ethnic bias against the Third World.
Really?
The German cartographer, Mercator, originally designed this map in 1569 as a navigational tool for European sailors.
The map enlarges areas at the poles to create straight lines of constant bearing or geographic direction.
So it makes it easier to cross an ocean.
But
yes,
it distorts the relative size of nations and continents.
Are you saying the map is wrong?
Oh dear, yes. Look at Greenland.
Okay.
Now look at Africa.
Okay.
The two land masses appear to be roughly the same size.
Yes.
Would it blow your mind if I told you that Africa is in reality 14 times larger?
Yes.
Here we have Europe, drawn considerably larger than South America. When it's 6.9 million square miles, South America is almost double the size of Europe's 3.8 million.
Alaska appears 3 times as large as Mexico, when Mexico is larger by 0.1 million square miles.
Germany appears in the middle of the map when it's in the northernmost quarter of the Earth.
Wait. Relative size is one thing, but you're telling me that Germany isn't where we think it is?
Nothing's where you think it is.
Where is it?
I'm glad you asked. The Peters projection.
It has fidelity of axis.
Fidelity of position.
East-west lines are parallel and intersect north-south axes at right angles.
What the hell is that?
It's where you've been living this whole time. Should we continue?
Uh-huh.
So, you're probably wondering what all of this has to do with social equality.
No, I'm wondering where France really is.
Guys, we want to thank you very much for coming in.
Hang on, we're gonna finish this.
Okay.
What do maps have to do with social equality, you ask?
She asked.
Salvatore Natoli of the National Council for Social Studies argues, in our society, we unconsciously equate size with importance and even power.
I'm going to check in on Toby.
Go.
These guys find Brigadoon on that map, you'll call me, right?
Probably not.
Okay.
When third world countries are misrepresented, they're likely to be valued less. when Mercator maps exaggerate the importance of Western civilization, when the top of the map is given to the Northern Hemisphere and the bottom is given to the Southern, then people will tend to adopt top and bottom attitudes.
But wait, where else could you put the Northern Hemisphere but on the top?
On the bottom.
How?
Like this.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's freaking me out.
This is a Lion and Fire Beats production.
So I start thinking about this idea of the South and the North, and why do we always make the North the dominant thing? And then I saw a map that Al-Idrisi, the first map maker of the world, was Al-Idrisi, was a Moroccan who did a world map, and he put the South on the top and he put the North on the bottom. The European map makers actually took from his book, but they realized the significance of putting the South on the top. It put Africa over Europe. And so they actually flipped it over and made their maps with the North on the top. And interestingly enough, if you read in the book called The Venture of Islam, Hodgson points this out, how he said it's so unfortunate that the Muslims don't recognize that they made the first maps and they put the South on the bottom, and they should go back to putting the South on the bottom, because it's a completely Eurocentric worldview that actually does not have historical foundation. And so we should make maps that have Africa, right, on the top, and then Europe on the bottom, and we say I'm going down to Europe and up to Africa, right? So we have to say I'm going up to Los Angeles and down to San Francisco, because in Arabic you actually do say the South is up. In fact, they call southern Egypt Sa'id, which is upper Egypt. And northern Egypt is lower Egypt. Ihbitu Misra, go down to Egypt, right? And also in Libya they say it as well. They say Nas'ad al-Qibla, we're going up south, Wanzil al-Bahr, we're going down to the ocean, which is in the north. So this is traditional cosmology, and don't think this is insignificant, the impact that seeing maps all your life with Africa on the bottom. Yeah. And then the other thing about a southern map, nothing's over Arabia. That's another thing about it. Look at a southern map, because I have one that was printed in Australia, because the Australians caught on to this. And they said, why should we be down under? And so they just turned it right side up, right? And they made their maps. I have a map from New Zealand, and it's really interesting to look at it. It actually puts things in a very interesting perspective. You start seeing things like how close Ireland is to Morocco, for instance, and how close Germany is to England. You realize how strong the Germanic ties, because you don't get that sense when you see a northernly dominant map. So it's very interesting.
Well, another map that questions our assumptions about North was actually a map that I enjoy telling school teachers about especially. This was a map that was first drawn by a 12-year-old boy from Australia. His name was Stuart MacArthur. Stuart drew an early version of this map when he was in 6th grade and passed it into his teacher, and the teacher said, "Stuart, we do this right, or you're not going to pass." And he didn't understand why it was that he couldn't have Australia on the top of a map. Well, a few years later, he was 15 years old, and he was an exchange student in Japan. And when he got to Japan, he was ridiculed mercilessly by his fellow exchange students from the USA. They taunted him for coming from the bottom of the earth. And at that time, when he was 15, he resolved that one day he was going to publish a map of the world with Australia on top. So fast forward 6 years, he's 21, he's graduating from the University of Melbourne. This is Australia Day in 1979. He published this map that you're looking at, and since that time, It's sold 350,000 copies. Not bad for a kid who was told to do things a different way. An abbreviated version of the caption on that says as follows: "At last, the first move has been made, the first step in the long overdue crusade to elevate our glorious but neglected nation from the gloomy depths of anonymity in the world power struggle to its rightful position, towering over its northern neighbors, reigning splendidly at the helm of the universe. No longer will the South wallow in a pit of insignificance, carrying the North on its shoulders for little or no recognition for her efforts. Finally, South emerges on top. South is superior, South dominates, long live Australia, ruler of the universe."
Alright, yep, Palestine. Okay. Going back down. Now, important things here. Way down here in the south of Africa, you have this guy. Alright? Does he look like a African, and you have all these castles. What are all these great, looks like kingdoms, European kingdoms, down here, all throughout Africa, alright? What is this all about? What's going on? Anyway, this is the only thing that's right side up. Then when you look at the rest, it's all upside down. Okay. You can see, it's again, pretty good map. Again, this is from Angelino Dolcert. From, I think it's around 1330 on this one. Okay, I'm just going to flip to the next one. Well, I couldn't leave out this one. We have a pretty nice map here. Let me see if I can get it so everyone can see. Flipping over here. This is the Sali map from 1100 1110 AD. It has, let's see if I can show you a better view. Okay. It has angels at the top and at the bottom. Here you have Ethiopia, or Africa. Now let me get a different view here. Okay, this one is with a little bit of a better overlay. So it's been redrawn, so that you can get a good idea. Yes, again, from 1100 AD. Very important here. What are all these castles doing in Africa? All these kingdoms. What's that big white king doing down there at the very bottom? All of these, and what's going to get interesting is in the next one. You see these guys here? These monsters, or these non-human creatures here that they supposedly had. There must have been some sort of war, but this is all definitely Africa. You have all these African animals, and then you have these guys. What's this guy? See his face and part of his body here? Alright. Quite interesting, huh? Now I'm going to get into the next slide that I think is really the most interesting one. Okay, now this is the crowning item, although it's not going to be the last one. This is the largest medieval map in the world, and it has some very important things to show you. Okay, it's called the Psalter map. It's from around 1200 AD. And Jerusalem is at the center. Give me just a minute. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit. You can see Jerusalem. Now again, hold on a second. This looks upside down now, doesn't it? I don't know if you can see, but this is Egypt. You see I think this is an obelisk of sorts. Okay. just so you can, first of all, see this is South Africa, people. Alright, let's go down so I can show you a bit more. Alright. Okay, this might be a little better to see. Jerusalem, Rome, Roma, the Alps, these great rivers. This is Spain. We covered before. Danube. I think this might be the Netherlands here. Alright. So this is the north. This is the north. If that's clear. This is the north. Alright, so then this would be the south over here. Anyway, some interesting points on this map. Look at these alien races here, all living under the ground. All the different creatures, all the different monsters. Alright. What are these little eyes? See the eye here? An eye there, an eye there, an eye there. Eyeballs all over the place, and rivers that come out from them. Here, here. There were some very important things. See these dragons? These were important to put in maps before. And they should probably still be in the maps today. What they call legends. Some of the maps, of course. But here you have, what are all these really, looks like, I don't know, cities and things, all down in Africa. Looks like they have more there than they had in Europe. Okay, well the point a friend was sharing was, look, it used to be that in Africa, well of course you had these areas where Abraham left. Abraham's children left. The scripture says they went northwest to become a multitude. That is the north. Well, maybe it's not north, but it could be. It's supposed to be at the top of the map. Okay. I think we have our maps backwards. Okay. Europe has become death traps for our own people, and we'll have more freedom if we all move to Africa. Yes, here are the original and more correct maps, like from the 1400s. This is at the top of the map. You see these words are right side up. Let me just show you some more words here. Ethiopia, you see that? You keep going, keep going. What do you have over here? Let's just show you, look. I zoomed out. Here's Europe, it's upside down. Alright? This is all upside down. Except for, perhaps... Yeah, we're all looking at everything upside down, actually. Well, you see, the drawings are right side up, and the letters are right side up. But what's this doing? What's this doing? I think, yeah, we have some educated people, and they know what's going on. What an amazing thing, huh? Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Alright, I'm going to get into one more slide. And before I do, I will show you the way that other websites list this photo. They list it like this. It looks like our normal types of maps with Spain and France, you know, Great Britain and so on. When you zoom in, what are you looking at? All the letters. Egypt. I started to say, what in the world's going on? What in the world's going on? Anglia! Oh no! It's upside down! You see? The other websites list this upside down. Now this is right side up. Let's go up here where it belongs. Okay. I just have to share this, and I'm just telling you how and what I thought when I saw it. And I'm just circling around it a bit so you can also get an idea and see more detail of the map. I'm getting in through the edges. But the orientation of the Earth, yes, I think it's important, okay? And if for so long this is right side up, I'm sorry folks, I think it's kind of important. And I think the more, yeah, these older maps, this is the, if you want to look it up, there's the name, is Storfer Mapundi. This one is also about 1,000 years old. Very important things in here, creatures and things that we should really know about. Pretty good resolution copies available easily online. But here's, I believe this is all part of Africa. And looks like white people were there. You have, again, lots of monsters and animals, okay? It's good they put that in a map. I mean, you want to know what's going on. But yeah, here we are in Africa. You have all these castles and so forth. Again, just going through here. Zooming out, alright. Look at all that. Look at all this. What is this? What are all these monsters doing in Africa? Okay. I believe this is Jerusalem again. Galilee. Alright. Okay. Yeah. You can pause it if you like and look through this a bit more. I'm just going to go through up to the north of it. But you know, it's funny. Alright, looks like the north here is east actually, but yeah, east is a better place to have at the top of the map, perhaps. Some might argue that, but it's just to show you the different ways people can be thinking what is really the right side up. Now, I don't like this, how they patch some whole area. Again, and they have a big hole in Germany. But this part, this whole patching business, I don't know about that. But, yep. I would say, what happened? Did a pole shift happen? What should really be in our minds at the top of the map? Shouldn't it be something more biblical? Where we should be orienting ourselves as this over here is called the ends of the earth, where you had Great Britain down here in this bottom corner.
The helm of the universe. No longer will the South wallow in a pit of insignificance, carrying the North on its shoulders for little or no recognition for her efforts. Finally, South emerges on top. South is superior, South dominates, long live Australia, ruler of the universe.